Good morning. It is currently just past 8 a.m. Oryn is having his first morning feed, and today I'm filming 24 hours with a 5-month-old. I was debating whether or not to do 5 months actually. I thought I might just wait till 6 months, but I feel like we're at quite a nice stage now and I'd quite like to kind of record that and remind myself of that just in case, you know, when things do change down the line. I'm quite keen to sort of keep a record of this, so I think I'm going to try and film a 24 hours in the life of each of his months, and we'll just see what happens. So he's roughly, I think, just under 5.5 months now, and the biggest change we've had so far from the last video is that he got out of his 4.5-month aggression and has started sleeping through the night now, which is amazing. Not so amazing for my boobs, which are really full at this time in the morning, but I will take it. Give me sleep over empty boobs any day of the week. How long this will last, God knows, but I will take it. So today is actually kind of a busy day for us. I've got physio at 10 a.m. this morning, and then I'm meeting a friend for coffee at 1 p.m. this afternoon. So I will film in and around that, and we will see where the day takes us.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were.
Right, Monkey Moo, ready to go? We are all set and ready to go in the car, so let's do this. So just finished up with my pelvic floor physio now. It was really good actually. I'm really pleased I went. Got a few exercises to do, some things to do with my scar and stuff, so that was great. Just walking home now, hopefully. Oh God, already out of breath. I'm so unfit since having spent 9 months like literally doing nothing on the sofa because of the pregnancy. So yeah, I need to get fitter at that. But I'm going to go see what's going on with my little boy. Wonder whether or not he's going to be asleep. Miracles may happen. He is actually asleep. Wonders will never cease. Yes, I think that appointment was really good. I'm definitely going to do a video talking about like getting my pelvic floor and stuff assessed, so I won't talk about it too much in this video. It's coming up to... Hello? Funnily enough, just as I was trying to check the time there, it's now about 20 past 11. I had a phone call from the fertility clinic that treated me, and obviously where I conceived Oryn, and I've been thinking for ages I need to message them because in the UK we have a restricted number of children can be born per donor, so the clinics have to keep up the up-to-date records of when children are, you know, pregnancies are successful, because obviously when you leave at 6 weeks things can still happen afterwards, and I hadn't got around to doing that, but they just called me now to go through it, and she was really lovely, the lady I spoke to on the phone, so one thing kind of ticked off my mental list I don't need to think about anymore because they now know, which was great. So yeah, funny it should happen on this day that I'm recording. Oryn is amazingly still sleeping. I realised that I'm planning to see my friend in like the local town here, and it's closer from my parents' house than mine, so we're just going to stay here until I've got to leave in about an hour's time to go and meet her, and hopefully he'll sleep for most of that. Dippy egg for lunch. So it's 12:15 now. Oryn has been asleep for I think about 2 hours, which is the longest nap he's done in a long time, and he's still sleeping, so goodness knows how long this nap will be. My friend messaged to say that unfortunately she's not feeling up to meeting today, but I put a message out in another group that I'm in, an antenatal group, to ask if anyone was around, and 2 of the ladies there said that they might be, so we're just waiting to see when babies wake up from naps and other guests leave, etc. To look at maybe going into town to meet up for a coffee, so that might happen instead, but if it doesn't, then, you know, we'll just go home and have a chill afternoon. So plans are changing, we'll just go with the flow. For now though, I've got this stupid like constant cramping pain. It's not bad, it's like very, very mild period pain, just sort of constantly across my pelvis. I've had this, like I said, for a couple of days now. And I took a Nurofen a little while ago, and it still hasn't really kicked in to make any difference, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I don't know what this is. This is new to me. So Hoping this doesn't last. Somebody woke up after an almost 2-hour nap and is having another feed. Really? Our friend has messaged to say her little one is up, so just needs to get everything out, and we're going to go and have coffee with her now. Took a risk of going the short way home, which sometimes is busy at this time. It's 5 o'clock and it's like rush hour, and it didn't pay off. We're basically standstill, and as you can tell, he hates being in the car when it's not moving, so this could be a painful bit of time. And as you can't tell, but it's like completely solid the other way as well, so we're stuck here, monkey, I'm afraid. Probably going to take a good 15 minutes to get out of this. Oh, that was a silly decision, mummy, silly decision. So that was a journey back. Fortunately, we made it. I think he cried the entire time for a good 20-30 minutes, and that is hard to listen to in the car. But luckily we're here, and he's now having his bottle. This is a prescribed formula that we've been given. Without going into too much detail, Oryn's weight, I think I mentioned this in the last video, it's been an issue for a while, but he was kind of gaining slowly but surely, and everything else seemed fine, so they kind of left it. But it got to a point where actually he not only stopped gaining weight, he actually started losing it. And he clearly wasn't getting enough from me, and he was checked for everything else, you know, under the sun, breastfeeding, lactation consultant, all that jazz, and it just wasn't working out. So we're now under a dietitian who gave us a few options of things we could do, and I opted for the high-calorie formula. And so far, oh, have you finished? So far, seems to be doing the trick. So I'm really hopeful. He's going to be weighed again in another week's time, and I'm just hoping that he's started catching up a bit now. Yeah, who's that? So I ended up giving him, I have to give him 120 mils of this each day. She doesn't mind how I do it. She gave me a few options. I usually do it all in one bottle, but because I had a 60 ml left over at my mum's house for when they had him yesterday for work, I basically gave him 60 ml earlier on today and then another 60 ml now. But yeah, I'm going to have to do a whole video on like my breastfeeding journey because it has been so kind of up and down. But as of right now, like, I'm happy with the system that we've got. And I'm just hoping that he starts to regain his weight back that he started losing, because that was quite scary. So Oryn's bedtime is at 6:30. It's currently 10 to 6. So we've got 40 minutes. I had a lovely afternoon with a different friend from the one I was originally planning to meet, but that's okay. We, you know, plans change. And we had a lovely time with her, went for a bit of a walk. And so we'd ended up walking out quite far from where I'd parked the car. So on the walk back, he had a little mini nap. And I also needed to pop into the shop to get a broccoli, which you saw. That's for tonight's dinner. And while I was doing that, he had like a tiny, I think, 10-minute nap. This kid, you know, famous last words, he's generally quite good at night, but he is not a good napper in the day. But you know what, I'll take a baby that sleeps at night over one that does lots of naps in the day, so that's fine for me. So he was definitely tired when I set off, so I knew he was going to fall asleep. So he had a mini nap, kind of literally for 10 minutes just before 5. But as he's going to bed in 40 minutes, he can't nap again now, but he is definitely on the tired side, this little monkey. Aren't you, darling? So the job for the next 40 minutes is to keep him awake and keep him entertained. Oh, that was a good burp. And then hopefully, because he's had a busy day, he should go down at 6:30. But yeah, we need to keep you entertained until then, don't we, darling? He is a tired baby today, and it's almost 6 o'clock, so we've still got half an hour to go. I think what I'm going to do is, one of the little tricks that I have is, if he does get tired earlier, I don't really like to put him down earlier than 6:30, just because I don't want him kind of getting into that routine and then waking up earlier as well. But I can usually get him to 6:30, or at the very, very earliest, if he's absolutely knackered, I'll do 6:15. But my one trick that I do have, if he is really tired, is to run him a bath, because he's generally really quite happy in the bath. He'll splash in there for a good 5 minutes, and that just gives us some extra time to kill before bedtime, basically. So I think I'm going to sit down, read him a little bit of a story, and then run him a bath, give him a bath, and from then on do bedtime. But I'm going to run the bath at about 15:15, and then that should, by the time he's been undressed and washed, splashed about for a bit, dried and changed and fed. He should be about 6:30 by that point. So yeah, I think we're gonna give that a go tonight. It is just gone past 7 p.m. now. I've just finished cooking my dinner. As I was putting Oryn to bed and finished feeding him, the camera died, so I figured I would just charge that up while I cooked because I didn't think you guys needed to see that. I'm just having some sausage and broccoli pasta with garlic flavoured sauce, which is one of my favourite meals. So in the end, Oryn did like a massive poo at like 6:05, so I thought, screw it, I'm going to do his bath now because I'm not going to clean him up, change him and then get him unchanged and in the bath and then etc. So I just ran his bath a bit early. He had a lovely bath, had a nice time splashing around in there, and bless him, he was so tired. So after that I just got him changed, put in his onesie, fed him and then put him down, and he's been asleep since, I want to say about sometime between 6:30 and 6:40 I think he dropped off. So all being good, he should now sleep through until around 7:30 to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. He finally outgrew his 4-month recession. I think, actually it wasn't long after I filmed the last video, I think it was only a few more days or a week, and then he got a lot better. And then for the last couple of weeks, he's been sleeping through. So he started waking up just one time in the night again for feed, and gradually over the last couple of weeks, that feed kind of moved further back. So it was at 2 a.m, and then it moved back to like 3, and then 4, and then 5, then 6, and then 7. And so basically he's just, for the last few weeks, he's been sleeping through the night. So who knows how long this will last? Babies are notoriously unpredictable, but for right now, it is really nice to be getting a full night's sleep again. But the other thing that's quite nice is because he goes to sleep pretty early, relatively speaking, like between 6:30 and 7, I get the whole evening to myself to have like whatever food I want, to actually do some cooking, to watch some Netflix, do all that jazz, read a book, have a bath to myself, all of that. So this is my time of the evening, and it's really nice to have this time again. It's almost 8:15 now, and I've just remembered that yesterday I stripped the bed covers off my bed and changed them, put them in the washing machine, completely forgot to put the washing machine on though, so I need to do that. There's some clothes hanging up that I need to put away as well. So one of the ways that I try and keep on top of housework without feeling overwhelmed by it is to give myself like a 15-minute slot each day to do something, and each day I do something different. So it might be that I do a really good clean of the kitchen, it might be that I do a whole load of washing, or I hang up, put one wash load on, take another out, hang it up, etc. I might be, you know, cleaning the living room. Whatever it is, I just try and make sure that I'm doing 15 minutes of something, and that way I just kind of keep on top of things as much as possible without feeling too overwhelmed by it. And I'll often set a timer on my phone and listen to my music while I do it, just to kind of get everything done. But that's something I have found to be really helpful for me. That being said, however, once I go back to working kind of full time again and hopefully have a bit more income, I'm definitely planning to get a cleaner in. Although my mum did actually give me quite a cool gift for my birthday, which was a few days ago, where she gave me a number of tokens equaling 1 hour's worth of cleaning with a cleaner that I've previously used, and she's already prepaid her and said I can just use them as and when I want to, so I can get a cleaner in probably the next week or two to come and give my place really good cleaning, which would be so nice, because that is one thing I really struggle with, partly because I just hate cleaning, and so I really put it off until I cannot stand it anymore and I need to clean. But that's definitely something that for me I think is going to be worth investing in, is having a cleaner come in once a month, just to kind of give the place a good once over, so that I don't feel like overwhelmed by how much I've got to do and just feel like everything is kind of ticking along. The other thing I got for my birthday is a new vacuum robot, which I've had previously. I had one previously and unfortunately it died, and so we had to get rid of it. And it was great though with foster kids, because quite often at this point in the evening, when I was watching something or just before I was going to go to bed, I would literally just make sure there was nothing on the floor. So for example, Oryn at the moment, his toys are down there. I just pick that up, put it away, and then I tell the vacuum cleaner to clean the room while I go to bed, and that is brilliant. So make your life as easy for yourself as possible. That's one thing I definitely try to do. So I've got this new one and I've called him Bob, and I think, because I have an app for this one, like last one I had a remote, but I think Bob I can actually control from my phone from anywhere, so I could tell him to start cleaning the house while I'm out having a coffee with a friend, which would be really cool, and I definitely want to try doing that at some point, particularly because the hallway needs doing, but I don't want to risk turning this on while Oryn is asleep and risk waking him up. That is not worth it to me. So I might try and do that tomorrow when I'm out, or another day, I don't know. But yeah, these are just some of the things I try to do to stay on top of cleaning and the housework, just so that it doesn't kind of become overwhelming. Also, I have a ton of birthday cake left over from my birthday a couple of days ago, which my mum got me, and I really need to eat up, but for some reason I just haven't felt like cake recently, so maybe I'll have a slice tonight. I'm really annoyed. I've been trying to fix the issue with my changing bag, because I have this baby male one. I've done a nappy bag video, which you may or may not see by the time this video goes live. But basically, my changing bag has this strap, which when it's down like this, has two backpack straps, but can also go along like this through the shoulder. However, when I sometimes pick it up by one backpack strap, sometimes this bit here comes through, so I've just sewn on 2 buttons on either end to try and stop it pulling through the loop here, because this strap is not thick enough to stop it going through. But unfortunately, even this can come through with the button, which is really annoying. So I've just sewn on these buttons for absolutely no reason. Gonna have to go back to the drawing board with this one. Originally my plan was actually to kind of sew some extra fabric like around the base here to make it thicker, and I think I might have to go back to that. But man, I thought I had been so clever thinking of the buttons. I thought they would be really good, but hasn't worked. It's gone past 8:30 now, and I'm thinking I'm going to run myself a bath because it's actually quite chilly today. You really wouldn't think it was August at the moment here in the UK. I know Europe's been, like South Europe's been having a really big heat wave, but it's been actually quite cold up here. So I definitely feel like I need a nice warm bubble bath to get me all cozy again. So one thing that I do like to do as well with bath time is use that as an opportunity to read a non-fiction book. I find that getting into the habit of doing something repeatedly makes it much easier to do, and otherwise I just would never get around to reading these, because I have fiction books on my tablet, on my Kindle app, that I read quite often. I like to skim through them at bedtime, but otherwise I never really get around to reading my non-fiction books, and I always like to have one on the go just to kind of constantly be expanding my mind, exposing myself to new ideas, blah blah blah. So the book I'm currently reading is The Happiest Kids in the World, Bringing Up Children the Dutch Way, and I'm a good portion of the way through actually at the moment. I'm really liking it so far. I'm not the kind of person that sticks to one particular type of parenting model. I just kind of go with what works for me, go with the flow. But there's a lot, I like to read books like this because quite often I'll read it and I'll look at something and go, oh, that's something that really appeals to me. I think I'm going to take that from here, and I might take some other idea or something else that another book does and just kind of mishmash them and find what works for my own style. So I do like to read parenting books from that perspective, but I don't ever take them as like the Bible is what you should do. I just kind of read them out of interest to see how other countries do things and how other people do parenting and all that jazz. But so far, I am really enjoying this one, so I would recommend it if you are looking for a parenting related book to look at. It is 10:30 now. I had my bath, been chilling out watching Last Chance U on Netflix. How I got into this, I'm not entirely sure because I don't really know anything about American football, but it's an interesting series, and honestly I just need mindless things to watch at the moment. But it's 10:30 now and I'm feeling pretty tired, so I think I'm going to go head to bed in a minute. Before I do that though, I need to pump. So I do this now every evening because Oryn has stopped waking up in the night. Famous last words. Touch wood. Hopefully he still sleeps through. But because he is now sleeping through the night, or at least sleeping longer stretches, I will pump before I go to bed to help kind of maintain my supply, because it's already, I think, on the lower side, as you know, with his weight and stuff. So I basically pump every night before I go to bed, partly to keep my supply up, but also partly for comfort, because in the morning when I wake up, my boobs are usually really full because he hasn't fed for the whole night. And if I left it from like the last time he fed at, I don't know, 6:30, and that was only one boob, they would just be like rocks in the morning. So doing this helps to keep me comfortable as well, plus build a little bit of a freezer stash for the times where he's with my mum or my dad, and then he can have, you know, the frozen breast milk then. So the pumps I'm currently using are the Mum Cozy M5s. I was actually gifted these to promote on my Instagram, and I actually really like them. They're completely hands-free, they're no tubes or wires or anything, you just stick them in your bra and go, and I honestly find that I get just as much milk from these. Maybe not quite as much as I've had from my Spectra in the past, but recently, like, I'd say they're pretty equal. So for me, like, this is more comfortable than a Spectra and less of a faff because there's no tubes to connect and, you know, the big thing and everything. So I'm going to just use these. It's more convenient too because you literally just have to tuck them in your bra. So then you have like massive boobs. It's telling me it's got 1 bar's worth of charge, but hopefully that'll be enough to do 10 minutes of pumping. So I think I did alright. I didn't get a massive amount of milk this evening. Looks like I got around 80 ml, which actually is pretty reasonable for me now. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this in the fridge and then I will be going to bed, I think. I'm just getting ready to go to bed. Gotta keep my voice down a bit because Oryn's next door. And I was looking at the video monitor and my god man, this kid loves to move. You can only just see his head sticking out there, his body's down here, but he was right up here when I put him to bed, and then later on I had a look and his head was this way and his body was that way, so he's flipped all the way around and ended up down here again. And that is why he is no longer in my room in that bassinet and he is in his own room, because the cot that I have is a cot bed and it would never fit in here. Plus actually I think he sleeps better in that room. He definitely started sleeping through the night when he was moved into there, and I can still hear him and everything because I have the monitor on. I'm quite a light sleeper and I obviously have the sound on, and if he wakes up, sometimes he does occasionally still wake up for a feed and at like 4 or 5 a.m. and I'll go in and feed him. Most of the time though he does sleep through now. But yeah, he started doing this I think when he was about 4.5 months old. I was putting him down for his nap in his nursery and I realised that he was rolling onto his stomach, which he can't do in this little bassinet here, it's too small. So I decided to try putting him down for the night in there, and he slept so much better because he's got the space to move around as much as he wants to. He's clearly a very active baby, so it's what currently works for us. He's happy, I'm happy, so that's what we're doing. I'm not gonna lie, I do also really like having my bedroom back. This room is kind of like my sanctuary. It's where I, you know, if I'm not feeling great, I always used to kind of curl up in here, and I like to curl up in bed and read a story on my Kindle, and the light from that would sometimes wake him up because he's a very lightweight, he's a very sensitive baby. So I couldn't do that for a long time and I really missed it. So it's quite nice to kind of feel like I'm getting pieces of me back too. And like I said, you know, he's perfectly happy there. I'm happy with him in there. The first night was really weird because I didn't plan to move him in there quite as early as this. I thought around 5 to 6 months when I'd start moving him, but he decided he was ready sooner than that. So that's what we've done. Anyway, it's almost 11 o'clock at night now, so I am going to curl up in bed, read a little bit of my current chick flick. I don't know what it's called because I have no idea. I'll probably find something, flicking through my books and find something I want to read, and probably curl up and go to sleep in about half an hour. So I will hopefully see you in the morning, having had a baby that has slept through. Good morning once again. It is 9:15. Oryn is just up and having his feed. He woke me up, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes ago. So he slept really well last night. He gave me a good stretch of sleep. He didn't wake up. And you're just now having your food. So that is 24 hours with a 5-month-old. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm quite liking 5 months at the moment. It's quite a nice age for him. His sleep is a little bit better. He is playing a little bit more. He's not quite as grizzly as he was at 4 months at that kind of regression stage. And it's just, you know, he's getting kind of interactive, starting to try and like make noises that like talking at you. So it's a really nice age at the moment. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen in the next few months. His sleep might go back to being worse again, but it doesn't matter. It's just kind of, babies are known for being unpredictable and you just got to go with the flow. So this is how it is now. Isn't necessarily how it's going to be forever. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed spending this 24 hours with us. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you soon, guys. Bye. Oryn says bye too. Bye everyone. Have a great day.